Hi guys, another episode of my critique Crossroads, or just to put it simply, three guys with laptops, maybe not always guys, but well, a casual, informal setting where we can take my critique experts, this time Druvis and Toms, and just casually discuss something that interests them, us, me, you. And this time, today's big topic is everything wireless. And to be specific, the wifiwave2 software package. So, right off the bat, let me ask you, what is it? What does it contain?
Firstly, it overhauls the whole underlying wireless interface management system. Secondly, it gives the user a new menu for managing wireless interfaces, and this new menu replaces both the menu for managing wireless interfaces on a standalone access point, as well as managing a network of wireless access points, what we call being a capsman controller.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, some builds of the package also include drivers for 802.11ax radios.
Okay.
Well, I guess sometimes you just have to throw out the old code and start anew. But what about the drivers? I always assumed that the packages are all the same. They're just compiled for different architectures. Is there more complexity to this?
Well, it's, you see, an x86 virtual machine, cloud-hosted router, does not need radio drivers to control a network of APs to be a capsman controller. The radio drivers are only needed on the devices on which the radios are physically on, and all of our 802.11ax access points have the ARM CPU architecture. So the drivers are only included when the package is compiled for the ARM architecture.
So, but if different scenarios have different needs, why not make two different packages, like one with the utilities, another with the drivers?
It's currently all one package to make package management simpler. We have considered splitting them up because the package also supports some 802.11ac Wave 2 chipsets, which is why it's called the wifiwave2 package. And so you can install it on some of our 802.11ac boards, such as the HAP-AC Cubed. But there are some boards, like the HAP-AC Squared, which don't support the package just because they don't have enough flash storage to install the package. And the HAP-AC Squared is a very popular board and probably the most common piece of user feedback we've received about the wifiwave2 package is that users would like to be able to install it on the HAP-AC Squared, and splitting the package up is one way which might enable us to do that, to give the users this option. But there are downsides to doing that, which we need to figure out ways to address beforehand.
Makes sense.
Yeah, splitting the package does not sound like the right way forward for me. As RouterOS right now is such a small, compact operating system, I would definitely root for letting it grow. But I also understand that right now we have a lot of 16 megabyte storage chips out there. So the whole development has to revolve around fitting the most basic features into that. But I'm happy that we're now starting to put in larger flash chips. I hope the development for the 16 megabyte flash chips is not sort of limiting our future development.
I would agree that we shouldn't risk overcomplicating the development for boards which require it, just to provide a nice bonus to owners of boards that work fine without the package. But our developers are clever. They may figure out a way to do that without messing up their workflow, in which case everyone wins.
Yeah, if you go with MikroTik, you are also a winner. But one thing I was thinking when you were discussing the limitations of these sizes and everything is that uh, in a way it seems that because of the past limitations of the different products, that router OS coders and the whole team has this discipline of making efficient software, right? Because nowadays you see it in so many companies and softwares and pieces of I don't know. For me personally, I see it in gaming a lot, but in all sorts of software, that because the hardware is so powerful nowadays, nobody cares about efficient software. You can just throw, like throwing money at the problem, you can throw also computing power at the problem. So I really appreciate that you guys here, everyone at MikroTik, are still being very disciplined about making efficient code, and I believe that this will not change even without these past limitations. So thank you for that, everyone at MikroTik.
Good words. When talking about the Wi-Fi wave package, you mentioned the AC chips. Did I understand you correctly that the wifiwave2 term actually came from the AC chips?
It's a term related to the 802.11ac standard, which was rolled out in two separate waves or stages, with the second stage introducing support for features such as multi-user MIMO and beamforming, and these were the first features that we implemented in this software package, and it's why this name was chosen for it.
So the package is going to change.
But the name will change.
Well, the way the software is packaged may change, and if it does, probably the name will as well. But the menu we've built, the configuration interface, that will stay the same. And as an end user, that's not something you have to worry about. Our 802.11ax products, which require the package, come bundled from the factory with all the software needed, and there's no effort on the user's part required to manage that.
So moving on, there's a new configuration menu, right? So can you walk us through what has changed with the configuration menu?
There are a couple of improvements we've taken from the previous implementation of Capsman. One is that configuration parameters are now grouped into categories. For example, everything related to the radio channel used is under the channel category.
Well, that was the first thing I noticed when I tried the package. But then soon after that, I realized that there's actually two ways of configuring the interfaces, as you can configure them directly, or you can create a profile, and that could add complexity to it. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
That is another feature we brought over from Capsman. You can bundle configuration parameters into profiles and then apply those profiles to many different interfaces. Personally, I like it as a way of making it obvious to me at a glance which interfaces share a configuration, and you can then override some of those profile settings on certain interfaces, but personally I find that once you start adding overrides, the whole configuration gets a bit more difficult to parse.
Well, it's probably not as difficult to parse for a computer as it is for the human brain. So why don't we just get rid of the override and configure everything to the profiles?
The profiles are a powerful tool, but they're probably best suited for setups where you have a lot of interfaces, not so much for just a standalone dual band AP with its two interfaces, in which case it would just be needlessly complex make the configuration needlessly complex.
Well, I suppose the key takeaway is that if you're only doing very basic configuration, it's best to just apply the configuration directly. But then once you need something more complex and you start using profiles, then just stick to the profiles so that you don't overcomplicate things for yourself.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. And another improvement in the wifiwave2 package is that there are better default values for parameters than in the previous wireless package.
Like what?
Like, for example, an interface will default to the newest supported band for the radio. And
that's new? What was the
previously a radio defaulted to the oldest supported band, and like an interface defaulted to a station mode instead of AP, which it's not what most people want, but it had to be kept around for reasons of backwards compatibility.
Makes sense. It just keeps getting better and better every day, almost every day, and it keeps making more sense. But are there any other improvements you would like to mention?
There are improvements under the hood, so to speak, which will hopefully let us bring to the users new support for new hardware faster than we've used to.
And there was a pretty big gap between the 802.11ax standard being finalized and then introducing AX into our devices. I believe our first device was HAP-AX2, which came out like yesterday.
We would certainly like to avoid such long delays in the future, and doing that is a part of why the wifiwave2 package had to be different and separate from the legacy wireless package.
Is the legacy package now deprecated? Will there be further development?
It will continue receiving bug fixes and security fixes. I mean, we still sell products with it installed, so we have to support it, but I wouldn't expect any major new features being implemented there.
And on this topic we have some questions from users on the forum, on the Reddit. So this wifiwave2 package and the Capsman in this package, it won't be able to control legacy access points.
No, unfortunately it wasn't feasible to make them compatible.
Yeah, well,
but
it is what it is.
But if you're using, if you're running local forwarding on your caps, on the access points, there's not much keeping you from running both the legacy Capsman and the wifiwave2 Capsman simultaneously. Just like with the legacy Capsman, you don't have to have a separate controller. You can buy a single 802.11ax access point and run the manager on that.
So there is a solution. We should make a video on this, right?
Yeah, Capsman is a very big topic on its own, so I think we should make another video just on Capsman.
Sign me up.
Let's do this. When I got my very first MicroStick device, I stumbled on Capsman by accident. I started with Capsman instead of the Quick Start. So it was a very weird weekend for me. So I will also be definitely watching this tutorial. So please make it.
All right, will do.
So while we're on the topic of new stuff, so the reasons to upgrade to the MicroStick AX Wi-Fi 6, the newer devices. A lot of people are always obsessed about pure speed. Is it faster? But I think we've reached the point where all sorts of devices are super fast already. So are there any other benefits you would mention? Like what is becoming better?
Relating to the 802.11ax standard in general, the code name for the technical standard describing it was HE, standing for high efficiency. So 802.11ax is designed to be better in setups, in dense setups with very many client devices. But speaking of the wifiwave2 package that we install on our 802.11ax access points, it brings along a lot of security improvements. So WPA3 authentication and as a requirement 802.11w management frame protection, as well as improved roaming, what's called 802.11r, fast roaming between access points, as long as they're managed by the same instance of router OS, and as well as features that could be described as features that assist roaming, not just fast handshakes, fast handover of clients between access points, but management frames that inform client devices as to how to roam better. So information about other access points available in the network.
Do you see any like type of environment where this would be the most significant? Like what type of setups, what type of I don't know, like productions and so on? Like point out to me a group like in the society where you could go and tell them, guys, you will benefit the most from upgrading.
I would say that the bulk of the features are for installations where there are a lot of clients and setups where those clients move about. So not so much maybe a home user, but a large office or a public venue, an arena, a stadium, and so on. But WPA3 is also just better, so there's something to be gained at home as well.
Mm-hmm.
So probably dense urban environments such as like apartment buildings with small flats.
Mm-hmm. So you don't get all the interference and everything from your neighbors and stuff like that?
You get interference, yes, but there are provisions in the standard for mitigating it. So ways for an access point to determine that the interference will not be detrimental to them transmitting at the time.
Mm.
So you can ignore a part of the interference with the 802.11ax standard.
Because at this point we've lost all hope that individual apartment owners will configure their routers to not transmit all over the place. So instead we just had to improve how devices handle this absolute nonsense of data all over the place. But you should think about configuring the radios as well. Discipline. We've mentioned discipline multiple times today.
Easier when you have one administrator making a channel plan for an office building, less so when it's a large building with multiple tenants each.
Can you control your own TX power like in the old wireless package?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, so turn it down.
Turn it down. It's way too loud. So I'll try to summarize everything for people like me. So if you have a HAP AC and you're wondering, oh, should I upgrade to HAP AX? It's not just about the speed, forget about it. Speed is just one of the many dimensions of networking, which is important, and you're getting better speed with AX as well. But you're also getting more clients, you're getting better security and overall performance, just like with no hiccups, everything works better, smoother. You get uninterrupted roaming. Like in the past, if you would move around like a conference hall, for example, and your device is switching to the closer, stronger access point, you would lose connection for a short bit, but it can be annoying, and you can lose even some, I don't know, some data maybe in the process, especially if you're like doing something online like a call, or maybe just, I don't know, uploading heavy files. whatever. You're getting uninterrupted roaming, which is super nice for just, you know, quality of life. Just living a better, more peaceful life with less annoyances. That is super important, underrated even. And you're also getting lower latency, which is always nice to have. It is getting like sort of a buzzword nowadays, isn't it? Like everyone is so concerned about latency, but it also is getting better. So if it matters for a lot of people, it is important, and you're getting that with the upgrade. So yeah, did I get everything more or less correctly?
Yeah, yeah.
See, guys, I am learning something in the process, so thank you for that. Such a blessing to be able to learn straight from the networking source. Well, let's not make this episode too long. There was a lot of information, a lot of food for thoughts, and some promises for upcoming videos. So guys, keep watching. Let us know in the comments what other topics we should cover. As you see in this informal session of the Crossroads, we can have like experts in specific fields just talking about what they're working on, and some other topics that we usually don't cover in the other videos. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know if you want to see more Toms, more Druvis, more of me, and more on the wonderful world of Router OS. Bye.